Yeah, it's A. Bennett. So today we are out in Newcomb, New Mexico with some dogs bothering me. So we are gonna interview a Navajo Nation police officer. He was a Marine and still is. So this should be a good one. Let's see how it goes.
While I was still in senior in high school, I enlisted in the Marine Corps. It's funny, it's the first semester, already signed my life away.
So how's the manpower? Can a non-native get into the tribal police?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Hey, Grant. Hey, oh, how are you? Good.
Come
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, my name's Grant Keams. Tenjikin in the Shlono Kenya Basishin. Kiltichini Dashino, Twitchly Nationale. From Lower Greasewood, Arizona. And grew up there in Artesia, New Mexico also. And currently living here in Newcomb, New Mexico, where I work for the Navajo Police Department here in originally started with Shiprock District, but now I just working with different areas. Just kind of do a lot of traveling and helping out where they need me, pretty much. Yeah.
All right, and with that, so how long have you been with the Navajo Nation?
About 15, going on 16 years now.
15, 16
years.
Okay. And
yeah.
So, well, you said you were born in Greasewood and you went to
Yeah.
Artesia. How did that transition happen?
When I was young, I don't have parents, family that followed job opportunities in Artesia side. Like the most known for the oil field business out there. So they moved out there. You know, there's some work out there, and then of course my grandparents. You know, my roots back in Greasewood, so just kind of going back and forth, and then getting familiar with both the res, then off reservation also. So it's a pretty unique experience going back and forth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And what grade or age did you live in Greasewood before you guys moved?
It kind of varied. I remember kindergarten, you know, first grade, then second grade. We were actually living in Holbrook, Arizona at the time, and then third grade moving to Artesia. I was there fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, and then seventh grade actually moving back out to Greasewood again. Seventh, eighth grade, and then moving back to Artesia again, where I finished off high school out there.
The stadium's impressive, first of all.
Yeah.
The stadium is very impressive.
Yeah, I think that was before the recent renovations. Yeah, this was and I graduated from there back in 1999. So I know since then, there's been tons of improvement over there.
What was the name of the law enforcement training? I know there's only like 3 or 4 in the country, and one is in Artesia.
Yeah, that's Federal Law Enforcement Training Center,
yeah.
FLETC. Yeah, FLETC for short. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
I know there's a acronym to it.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you finished up high school in Artesia, then after that, where'd you go?
While I was still in senior in high school, I enlisted in the Marine Corps actually. So it's funny, it's the first semester, already signed my life away. So I was on the late entry program. So right after high school, I actually went to boot camp and was in the Marine Corps for about 4.5 years. Yeah, from 1999 to 03. Yeah, and that's where I ended up at right after high school.
Okay, and what was your MOS in the Marines?
3043, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, funny story behind that. In high school, I was more into like business and numbers, and was looking at going on a business route, maybe a degree in business or something, or accounting. Mm-hmm. At the time, accounting really stuck out to me, so I was focused on that. And then I know I have some relatives that were in the Marine Corps, so, and you know, they had the benefits as well. So I went into that, you know, hoping to get into that kind of a background, being that, you know, they'll take care of your college, but also they have their specific jobs inside the Corps. So, but again, you don't always you have a list of, you know, things that you're most likely to, you know, or most interested to least interested. So unfortunately, I didn't get what I wanted specifically. Yeah. But what I got stuck with was supply administration. But it was kind of similar. It was similar, and I had fun with that. But at the same time, being in the field and such, you know, I found out that I was actually good at other things.
Yeah.
More interested in building that interest in other things, mainly in the field, like hands-on stuff, you know, the dirty work. So,
Yeah.
and then weapons especially. So, hey, I'm better at that. Why don't I do that? So, yeah. So, that was one route I was going to pursue with my my re-enlistment.
Yeah.
I actually re-enlisted, but sometimes things don't work out. I think we were deployed at the time back in 2003. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when the invasion officially kicked off.
Yeah. So, I figured, well, maybe that's my cue, you know, and move on, do something different.
Yeah.
So, and I've always wanted to go back to school anyway, you know, but at that time I kind of had more of an interest of carrying a gun around. Yeah, so, and I have some family in law enforcement also, so I considered that and thought, yeah, you know, that'd be the next best thing. So I always say that, next best thing to being in the military.
Just being in law enforcement.
Yeah, so went to school for that at the time. I was interested in the New Mexico State Police because I was living in Artesia at the time, so I was set on that. And at the same time, I kind of touched base with the main coordinator for the criminal justice program in Roswell at Eastern New Mexico University, because at the time that bachelor's degree was a requirement. One of my uncles was a main recruiter for department out here, and kind of catching up and said, yeah, you know, this is what I'm working on. And said, oh, well, we're hiring also. So, and thinking about moving out here also at the time to the Four Corners area. I ended up going with a respective department. I said, hey, you know what? Yeah, this might be best bet. It's actually pretty good, you know, compared to my initial goals.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that kind of worked out in itself. Like, all right, I went that route, got signed on, went to academy, and yeah, everything's been going great ever since.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
after the Marines, then you literally been with the Navajo Nation Police.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, 17 years. That's still. So what's your primary focus with the? So what you went through the academy and you got into the Navajo Nation. So what was your step after that?
I think just getting familiar with the whole background of the job, and of course, you know, my mentors from academy to respective districts and across the department. I think what really stood out to me was the training aspect. I guess a sense of readiness, kind of like a lot of what I learned in the Corps and bringing that to the workplace. A lot of that stuff that stuck with me, and training stuck out to me the most. So I not purposely got involved with a lot of training stuff, and then got into some administrative positions like training coordinator, and that kind of opened my eyes to you know, other things, administrative side of the house, and yeah, like. And
so, was it a tough transition going from the military out of the military? Because I know that's usually kind of a tough deal of.
Yeah, it's
going back into civilian life.
Especially I think being active duty for so many years, you get used to that lifestyle, that way of life. Yeah, it is a way of life, in a sense. Yeah. But and then just going back to civilian life, it's a little different. It takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to dial it back down and just keep in mind you're around different people. But it takes time, and some stuff. Yeah. Still on edge, you know, like how people are goal oriented, you know, mission oriented, accomplishing what needs to get done, and in the civilian life, it's different. You know, everybody just kind of goes at their own pace.
Well, it's always good hearing because I know it's tough to transition. I know that's one of the toughest things that a lot of vets deal with. I mean, like I was telling earlier, that I've interviewed probably, I don't know, 100 plus interviewees who come from the military, and it's a transition that's one of the toughest parts of. One day you're working with $1 million equipment, the next day you're learning how to drive a forklift or something, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's something that's a little challenging.
Definitely. I mean, you're trusted with so much, or you have so much authority, or we're like in charge of so many people also, you know, being a non-commissioned officer, you know, in the Marine Corps, being in charge of people, you know, trusted with so much, but then coming back to civilian life, even just in the basic workplace, like when I was going to school or in school as far as work groups, or even at work now, it varies. It's different, way different. And even now, a police department, and it's similar, but it's unique in its own way. Yeah.
Can a non-native get into the tribal police?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
What are the requirements for that?
I mean, it's no different than, you know, natives. No different as natives. I know when I went through academy class, we actually had a non-native guy that was in there. Yeah. And his brother was actually already with the department. So, yeah, so it's open to anybody that that qualifies.
So, does it help to have some diversity in there, or?
Everybody has something to bring to the table. You know, everyone's unique in their own way. So,
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
So, everybody, I mean, it's good to have diversity, and I could not agree more with you on that, because everybody have something new to bring to the table. And has it been? I guess what I've never tried to apply, nor have I had anybody to ask about this with the Navajo Nation Police, but do you need to know like some sort of like, do you have to know clans? Do you have to know some like a certain amount of the Nefazad?
No, just the basic requirements as far as, you know, being a police officer, pretty much. You know, and I know especially nowadays, you know, with the youth, how some of them aren't really in touch with the culture or language, but as far as the work, it's still there. There's still a need for it. So, you know, there's no bias as far as, you know, if you know the culture or not, or can speak the language or not. Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know, because I've always I've always dreamed about being one of those Navajo Rangers.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They do a lot. Yeah, they do a lot of good work. Definitely. They're probably sitting up there on that ridge right now as we speak. Yeah, they do a lot of good work, and we help out each other also. And that's one thing, you know, when I'm out and about, doing my work or training or whatever. If people ask about my work, and I just in a sense try to recruit them also, you know, and from different backgrounds, you know, so it doesn't matter.
I know jurisdictions is a big deal. So I know you have to you can't have outside entities unless, are they chauffeured or assisted with Navajo Nation PD?
As far as
like, let's say there's a domestic call made near the border of the Navajo Nation, and you have sheriff 15 minutes away, but you have Navajo Nation officer who's an hour away to respond to that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have agencies, especially border areas, that will assist each other. And some agencies are cross-commissioned, so that kind of helps with the work also, as far as those borders, like in Utah side, Arizona, New Mexico. Like in our area here, you know, we got Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and Colorado here in the area. So like you got neighboring agencies, you know, in all surrounding areas, so everybody helps out each other.
So how's the manpower?
Manpower, I mean, manpower is manpower. You know, there's always pros, cons, but main thing is, you know, accomplishing the job, accomplishing the task. We know what needs to be done. Like you know, providing police services, or you know, if you're in a position to educate, or then getting out there and actually doing what you can. Yeah, and manpower is always, you know, there's always a need for manpower, even if you're fully staffed. I mean, you're probably going to think, you know, hey, what if we had more people, you know? And just like the military, I know we always, never too much, never too little, just work with what you got kind of thing, you know? So just make the best of whatever situation you have. And I think manpower is one of those things.
Every industry across the board in the U.S. is hurting for manpower.
Oh yeah, definitely,
right.
Definitely.
Were there very unique skill sets that you realized that you applied to being a Navajo Nation police officer?
Yeah, definitely, especially coming from the military. finding out that, you know, I like being, you know, dirty in the field, and especially weapons, then I really ran with that interest coming into, you know, my job now, and then seeing more to it that, hey, you know, there's a lot more than just that by itself, you know. As far as weapons, you know, its applications, as far as, you know, safety, and because military, you know, and then my job is it's similar, but it's different in many ways. You know, like for right now, it's more about safety. You know, it's like, you know, we're not out to hurt anybody. It's just all about keeping everybody safe. But then again, you know, how everybody has their own unique gifts to bring to the table. You know, me, I mean, I enjoy firearms, I enjoy, you know, weapons, I enjoy tactics, I enjoy, you know, a lot of that stuff. Yeah. So, and I'm able to handle all that. So, you know, using that gift in a sense to apply it to, well, how can I help it? How can I help everybody else? I think at the end of the day, that's what I'm always coming to, is how can I help my coworkers? How can I help the department? How can I help the public, and so on, and whatever I'm doing. Even, you know, outside of work, you know, family life, you know, or extended family, you know, how can I help them? Because you get a lot of people that come to you for advice. And I guess if you have well, I guess along the way, you know, you build you gain that respect or that reputation, and that might be unspoken, and especially family, you know, they come to you for advice or guidance. And that's one thing with, you know, our family is, you know, we kind of find that people come to us for advice or guidance, and just all we can do is, you know, just share what we know, share our knowledge, our teachings, what we grew up with, which kind of fall back on a lot, you know, and especially getting me through some of those challenges, you know, coming back to those teachings. And it's pretty unique when you find yourself, when you take a step back and, you know, look at yourself, or you're like, wow, you know, am I really doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty unique. At the same time, I guess it's when things come full circle, you know, when you're a child and your parents are talking to you, or your grandparents, and then one day you find yourself on the opposite side of the spectrum. You're like, holy smokes, you know, this is what they were talking about. This is what they meant. And you kind of feel like that deer in the headlight, like, oh yeah, you remember some of the dumb stuff you said or done, and you're like, yeah, that was stupid. I think as a parent, you know, I mean, everything changes. Like we tell the kids, you know, I mean, you're on your own now, so, you know, make the best of it. Make your life the way you want. Learn as much as you can. Do as much as you can. And then take care of yourself in that way. But then when you get a spouse, like one of the kids, you know, has a spouse, it's like, you know, once you become a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, it changes there. You know, you stop thinking about yourself. And then when you become parents, even more changes. You know, you start you got to think about your kids. So, a lot of learning points.
It kind of reminds me of that line from the movie End of Watch, of when he was saying, hey, I got engaged, dude. He's like, dude, shut the fuck up. He's like,
yeah.
Seriously, bro. He's like, no. He's like, all right, this is what my grandmother asked me, so I'm going to ask you this. Can you live without her? And he said, if you say yeah, then you better man up and lose her. Yeah. But if you can't live without her, then you take care of her, and that's life.
Yep, those hard choices.
Yeah, and
that's all you can do to teach your kids to prepare for those hard choices.
Yep, correct. The teams who did the raid on the those hemp plants.
Yeah, was a part of that. There's a lot going on, but the outcome is the outcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a pretty unique experience.
This is beautiful. I haven't been up here in a long time.
It's nice.
It is. So, are you involved, or do you believe in the same ideals like NAC, or is it like Navajo traditionalism?